Hi, I'm doing a biography on my Grandpa Len. I'd like to introduce you to my grandpa. In this biography, you will find out about his life. I've chosen to write about my grandpa because he reminds me that you can achieve anything. This is what he said on the interview. My name is Len Sitter. I don't know how my parents chose my name because I never asked them. I was born on November 14th in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I lived in a number of different houses and hotels growing up because my dad often managed in hotels. I went to many schools such as St. Paul High School, St. Joseph's, and even a boarding school in Saskatchewan. My favorite teacher was my first grade teacher, who was also my aunt. My least favorite teacher was Mrs. Graham. She was the worst. My favorite subjects were social studies and history. I didn't have many pets because we were always moving. I didn't even have a fish because I was and still am allergic to them. When I was really young, we didn't have a TV, but we listened to the radio. When I was around 8 years old, the first TV came out and there was only one channel. We eventually got a TV. My favorite shows were American Bandstand, Horse Opera, which was a good cowboy show. I didn't have many close friends, but my closest friends were Jewel, Bill, and Maureen. They had a farm, and I spent a lot of time in their barn. When I went to my grandma's house, she made me my favorite foods, which were bacon and eggs, pierogies, and cabbage rolls. Good Ukrainian food. My mom would also make them for me, but they weren't as good. My favorite family traditions were Christmas and Easter, family gatherings. We would often go on road trips. We would often go on road trips to visit my grandma. I never knew what I wanted to be till my early 20s. I tried many different jobs, but I just didn't know which one was good for me. Eventually, I figured out I wanted to be a teacher. My favorite family holidays were going to New York and Florida on road trips. After high school, I started working. Then a few years later, went to university. My first job was at the Home for Boys at Provincial Detention Center for Boys. My dad worked there and got me a job. I've lived in North Battleford, Saskatchewan, Thompson, Winnipeg, Brandon, and Portage la Prairie, Manitoba, Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Montreal, Quebec. I met Grandma through a friend of mine, who was also her cousin. I first saw her at her family's cottage on the lake in Canada. I proposed, of course. We got engaged in 1969 and married in 1970. My favorite age to be was my mid-20s after I figured out what I wanted to do. I'm most proud to have found the right woman to have a life with and watch my kids grow up. My biggest inspirations were my father and my grandma. My favorite hobbies are reading about history, and when I was younger, I enjoyed playing and later coaching American football. What I love doing with my grandpa is playing solitaire and watching TV. My grandpa had a knee operation and is starting to feel better. I look forward to seeing him this summer, so every moment I get with him is special. I love you, Grandpa. Bye.